What's up?
Here we go.
What's going on?
Here we go.
Here we go.
So the only thing what is not working is my headphones. Please.
It's a lovely day in South Florida.
So can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so then welcome to the special Halloween edition from the Moshpit Stories. My guest today is the drummer John Westbay, aka Chopstixx, was here. So
Yes,
we love to have a nice podcast with you, and yeah, I really enjoy that you have time, John. So
yes, sir.
tell me, how is the thing in Florida working?
It's okay. I'm currently like in between bands, but South Florida doesn't have as good as a scene as like Orlando or Tampa, because a lot of bands don't want to come all the way down here. But
Okay.
there's some good bands down here. Yes, sir.
Okay, so how's the weather in Florida? We had here in Germany a real nice sunny day, so it was warm outside, so it's October, man. Normally
Yeah.
it's cold at this time.
It's really nice today. Yesterday it rained a lot, but today it's very sunny and hot. So just a regular Florida day.
Okay, so we did, or we both planned to do this podcast a longer time now, and yeah, I have a first question for you. I will show you a CD now, and you tell me what you think about the first band. I have two incomplete, but the second one I will put on a little bit later.
Okay.
What do you think about this, guys?
Oh,
Did you saw it?
yeah. I haven't actually heard of them. Is that Crisis of Faith?
No,
It's awesome.
it's Billy Talent, last album, Crisis of Fate. I'm sure you know Billy Talent.
I've heard the name. I actually haven't heard any music, unfortunately. Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. Okay,
It's
so
awesome.
Billy Talent is from Canada, and yeah, they're closer to you than to me. So they're doing music like, yeah, I think it would be a mix between punk and yeah, normal rock and roll. But
Okay.
yeah, if you don't heard it, yeah, it makes no sense to talk about it. But then let's discuss another topic. You were the drummer of the band Jamina. So, but now you are a single artist at the moment. So tell me a little bit about your single artist life, please.
Yeah, I kind of been focusing more on writing like hip hop and kind of R&B stuff, where I make all the beats and the music. I just think it's easier being solo, so I don't have to really kind of rely on other people and stuff. I'm kind of on in a project as well, like where I'm playing drums for like a punk band called Stomp Florida, and we're gonna release something hopefully by the end of the year. All we need is to record the vocals, and everything else is recorded. So that's fun. But yeah, the solo stuff I think is just a little easier because I can kind of get it done whenever I want to, opposed to being in a band where we got to rely on a lot of other people, which is confusing sometimes.
Okay. So let's discuss a little bit about Jamina. How long did you were a band member? And if I may ask you, what was the reason that you are not part any longer of Jamina?
I was in a band for about 2 years. I think I joined middle of 2019, and I think I left early 2021. I kind of stopped playing drums for a little bit, so I was more focusing on just writing my solo stuff. So it was one of those, like, if I'm not playing drums, then it's gonna be tough to be the drummer for a band. So that was why I kind of shifted. I think just the pandemic kind of made me think differently on what I want to be working on, and it just didn't seem like it was something that I wanted to do, moving forward. I'm still friends with
Okay.
all. I wish them the best, but it wasn't. I guess I just needed to be doing something else at that point.
Okay. So no bad feelings is always a good thing. Of course, you know all of them a long time, so it's always good to go in friendship, of
Yeah.
course.
Cool thing was,
Yeah,
I
go
was
on,
friends.
please.
I was friends with them, like two of the members, for a long time, and then I got to meet the other members just by going to concerts and stuff. Like we just became friends because we were, whenever there was a metal show, we'd all be there. So we became friends actually before I even joined the band. So then when I did join, it was already natural, and we all just kind of felt like family. So that was fun, opposed to joining a band where you like don't know anybody. It's one of those, like, I already knew everybody and genuinely liked them. So it was cool to play music with your friends, which was really cool.
Okay. Yeah. So we can say hi to a few followers. Hello. Thanks for joining in, and enjoy our special Halloween edition with the drummer and hip hopper John Westbay, aka Chopstixx, was here, or Bart Ulrich.
Yes.
Is it correct?
Yes, correct. So
Okay,
that's
so then let's talk a little bit about Bart Ulrich as well.
Yeah. So that was a play on words for the drummer of Metallica is Lars Ulrich, and when you when you're what's a measure of music is called a bar. So basically what we did is I kind of just decided to do bars and Ulrich, which I thought was pretty clever. But the thing is, if you don't know who the drummer of Metallica is, it's not really that easy to know the name. But I thought it was clever.
So yeah, then you have now a combined genre, a mixed genre. You were a drummer in a metal band, and you are a hip hop artist as well. So what
Yeah.
about a crossover mix, like for example Clawfinger?
Yeah. Well, I'm working on some stuff right now where instead of doing like program beats, I'm actually doing hand drums on some of the songs, and one of the songs I'm actually playing real drums on. So I want to really try to focus on using all of my different, I guess, talents to make my projects more interesting. So the
Okay.
next bars arc will have real percussion. I'm going to try to get some people to play guitar and bass and stuff on a couple of the songs. So it's going to be not like rock, but it's going to be just more natural instruments opposed to just all program stuff. So that's kind of what I was thinking for moving forward. Uh-oh.
So yeah, Emma, hello. This is Emma the Cat Westbay. You can find her on Instagram as well. So hi, it's nice that you join as well. So it's different, I think. You were the drummer, and now you are the singer artist. So now you have to write the lyrics down, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, I've been a lyricist like since high school. I've been just writing my whole life. But I never really, you know, as a drummer of the band, I never really had a chance to to use it. So I just have like years worth of lyrics, and for different projects as well. Like some lyrics are more metal oriented. I have some that are more for hip hop. So yeah, I've always been writing, but most of the bands I've been in, I was just a drummer, and you know, usually the singer will be the one that focuses on writing the lyrics. So it was something that I've always enjoyed doing, and now I can actually use them for my own stuff.
Okay. So when did you start drumming? So in which age?
I was 14. Actually, it was a really cool anniversary. I got my drum set on 9/8/98, so it's really easy to remember. So what was that? 98. I've been playing it for over 20 something years. So what was really cool was when I played a show in the beginning of 2020. I played a show in 4 different decades. So I started playing out. I think my first concert was like 1999. So I played in the 90s, in the 2000s, and 2010s, and the 2020s. So even though I'm less than 40 years old, I've managed to play in 4 different decades, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I've been playing for a long, long time.
Okay, so this means you are a lot experienced
Yeah,
in playing the drums.
I could be way better, but you know, I think I'm pretty good.
Okay, yeah, I think it's all about practicing and this stuff. But I know, of course, you have not always the time to
Yeah.
do practicing like somebody plans it. So you have a work life, real life, so different obstacles, I would call them.
Yeah,
So yeah,
the
please go
best
on.
the best thing was, you know, when I was young, all I did was play. So you kind of there was a drummer who had a really cool phrase. They said, "Practice doesn't make perfect, practice makes permanent." So by playing all the time when I was younger, it's kind of just muscle memory. And I think even though now I can't play as regularly, I still kind of can remember all the stuff that I learned when I was younger. So it's one of those, the less time you have, obviously, if you're playing a show or something, you're going to practice to make sure you're good. But these days, it's one of those, like, I don't get to play a lot, but I still feel like I can be as good as I normally am just because of the amount of times I've played, you know?
Okay. Speaking about playing in front of an audience, how nervous you were at the first concert were you playing in front of an audience?
Good question. First show was pretty scary. It was funny too because we were a very, very heavy metal band. We were like a death metal band, my first band.
Oh,
And
okay.
we were playing at a pool party in like a kind of rich neighborhood. So it wasn't a lot of metalheads at the party. I don't know how we got the show. It was just like somebody. So it was one of those, like, you could tell they didn't necessarily want us playing there. That, you know, they were trying to have
Yeah,
fun.
of course, of course.
A really weird environment, and in true metal fashion, we got like 3 songs through, and the cops broke up the party. So it was a fun first show. It was cool. Like, I mean, really, the only thing that makes you nervous is if you're not confident in your parts. So we practiced a lot. So like, it wasn't one of those nervous where I'm gonna mess up, but it was one of those like, what if they don't like us? You know, like, we've been working so hard behind the scenes, and if nobody likes us, like, what do we do? So I think we had a good response, but the cops didn't want us to play any longer. So it was it was a short set, but it was pretty nervous. And then after, obviously, more and more shows, you get less nervous, but you get a little bit of butterflies every time you go out there and play, no matter how confident you are. You know, it's just
Okay.
rule. Yeah.
How strong is the metal scene now where you live currently?
It's actually pretty good. There's a few bands that I was fortunate enough to play when I was in Jamina, that are kind of in the Miami area. And that's the next town south of me. So it's about maybe 30 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic. So
Okay.
there's a few bands that are really, really, really good that I've gotten to play with, and I continue to follow. So I felt like the scene kind of dried out for a little bit, and then now there's a couple bands that are really, really carrying it. So there's some good bands coming out of South Florida, which is good.
Okay, yeah, this sounds great. So, how long did you have to drive to visit concerts? Do you have a special area close to you, or you have to drive a longer way?
The closest two to me are like I'm kind of out west, and there's two in Fort Lauderdale that's out east that are maybe 20-30 minutes. That's kind of the closest where most venues are going to be. But I told you a lot of bands don't come to South Florida, so like 2 weeks ago I had to go to Orlando to see Meshuggah, which was like 3 hours. Tampa's about 4 hours. So there's a lot of times where I have to, if it falls on a weekend, it's perfect. But if it falls during the week, like I have to take days off just to go to a concert, because, you know, there's a lot of bands, kind of the same with you. If there's an American band coming to see you, you know, you want to see them because they're coming a long way. So I listen to a lot of bands from Europe. So when they come to America, it's one of those, like, I don't care where you guys go, I'm going to see you play. So I go in Tampa. I think I've been to Orlando 3 times this year to see a concert.
Okay. So yeah, we have also, so I have also to drive a little bit. So approximately 80 kilometers to Munich. I'm sure you know Munich.
Yes.
Or you heard of it. Or Nuremberg is also close. So Ingolstadt, where I live, is not that much with concert. A few small, but yeah, like you said, if a band from America comes abroad to us, so I will see them if I got tickets, of course.
Exactly.
So this was in 2019. I was a little bit lucky guy to see Metallica for the first time. I listened to Metallica since I was 12 or something like this, yeah. And it took me 30 years to see them live in a stadium, yeah. But it was awesome. The place where I stand was not that far to. It was very far to the band, but yeah, it was my first Metallica concert, so it was really awesome. I would, of course, see them a second time again.
I got to see them when I was in, I think, 9th grade. And it was a football stadium where the Miami Hurricanes used to play. And they set up on the grass, and I was really close to the stage. And we were just on the grass where people were in the seats all around, but I was in the floor seats. And it was pretty wild as a 9th grader seeing, the mosh pits and stuff break out. And it was like, oh, man, this is crazy. But, yeah. I think 3 or 4 times, and they always put on a show. Okay.
Yeah, I think Metallica is one of the biggest audiences, of course. We don't have to discuss that. What was your first concert when you're starting going to metal concerts?
Good question. It was the Deftones. So
the Deftones. Oh, okay.
Right when they put out Around the Fur, I think their second album. And it was, I don't think the venue's around anymore, but I was in 7th grade. I begged my mom. It was a weeknight. Begged my mom, can I please see the band? And and it was awesome. It was a really cool show. And then I think a month later, I saw Pantera.
Pantera in its original band
with Dimebag
membership. Okay, cool. It
was 97. I saw Pantera and Soulfly. No, I said it was Pantera and Anthrax. Anthrax was opening for Pantera. Yeah, it was awesome.
That's cool. At this time, Soulfly doesn't exist. At this time, Sepultura, the old Sepultura, were still close to the cutting.
Yeah.
Because I know it because in 1969 I saw Sepultura in my small hometown where I lived at this time.
That's
cool.
With
9 Inch Nails as a supporting band, so it was really cool. Yeah.
I never saw them with Max. I only saw them with the new singer Sepultura, but I did see Soul with Max. I wish I could have seen Sepultura before Max left, because to me that's like the original lineup. That's the lineup that for all the albums that I like the best.
Yeah, the closest thing what you could do is now go to see the Cavalera Conspiracy.
Yep.
Then you have Igor and Max and Zion at the drums.
Okay. Yep. Yeah.
It's son of Max, Zion.
That's cool.
So legacy is legacy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got a couple of their albums, The Cavalier Conspiracy. It's real heavy stuff, so that they're real fun to listen to.
Okay. So what's your preferred metal genre?
I like, I guess, progressive metal a lot. I really like you know, the more like not, just technical stuff where it's like Leprous, and I like Haken a lot, the Contortionist.
Okay.
Like, yeah, so I guess progressive metal would be my favorite at the moment. But I kind of
Okay.
like, I listen to everything.
Yeah, I think the product bandwidth is really big. So there's a few really nice bands out there which you can
Yeah,
listen to. So everybody has to make a hard decision every time.
yeah. There's a lot
Um,
of bands,
yeah.
but you know, with me, if it's good, like it doesn't have to be heavy. Um, but if it's good, if the musicians are good, if the music is good, you know, I'm gonna like it. So that's kind of what
Yeah.
matters.
Okay. So could you imagine that you would be a singer instead of a drummer? So a metal singer instead of a drummer.
Uh, I actually was for a few bands when I was in high school. Yeah,
Okay.
more like a fill-in. Like what there was a band I was friends with, and their singer lived in Puerto Rico, so he would have to go home a lot. And they're like, "We're playing a show. You want to sing for us?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I'm my scream is really not that good anymore because I don't use it anymore. But I definitely have done some lead vocals in some metal bands, and I'm working on a project that's going to take forever to record, but I'm going to do some vocals on that as well. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
it's
How tough is at the moment producing? Is
me.
it easy or more easy now, or is it still COVID modus?
It's yeah, it's you know, it's I think it's getting easier, but you know, it's still COVID's kind of slowing things down from what you want to do. I would say,
Okay.
yeah.
So then we can looking forward to new stuff from you coming soon.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
yeah. Hopefully by the end of the year, the punk rock project. My new Bars Over stuff might take a few months, to probably more towards the summer next year. So
Okay.
I am working on a music video for one of my older Bars Over songs, but it takes so long to do. So I kind of have the blueprint on what I want to do. Now I have to actually start recording it or start editing it. So um, hopefully I can have that by the end of the year as well. So I'm kind of switching my sites. Instead of writing, I want to try to do a couple music videos in the next couple months to try to put out some visuals to go along with the audio, which is fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always important to have fun in
Yes.
doing things. Yeah. If you don't have fun, so don't do the things. Yeah.
Exactly.
But I know a thing which you of course have fun. That's why we're wearing the same hats.
Yes, sir.
We discussed this, Atlanta Braves, of course. This was my first baseball stadium what I visited before I fly to Germany back again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did some selfies and stuff, and yeah, you are the biggest baseball fan I know. So tell me about your project, which you call Ball is Live Tour.
So I'm trying to do all 30 baseball stadiums throughout the country. And I live closest to the one in Miami, so I go there a lot. But every year I try to pick a region of the country. Like this year I did the Midwest. Last year it was kind of the desert area in Arizona and Colorado and Texas. So it's a long goal because I don't have enough money to do them all right away. But the goal is to get them all, before I die, hopefully, all 30 stadiums. And I actually have a map that I have. I put
Oh,
the stickers of the logos of the ones I've
Hmm.
been to. So this one I haven't been to. So as you can see, there's quite a few. So I got
Oh,
all,
there are a lot, yeah, where you were.
yeah. So
That is awesome.
I live down there. So these are the ones, there's Atlanta. So these are the ones that are easiest to get to. Over the summer, I did all 6 of these. And then last summer, I did those 4. And then 2019, I did the Southern California. So yeah, one day I want to have them all checked off. But that's what I've been working on. And
That's a that's a huge and nice project.
yeah,
So, but I know it's I think it's very expensive, of course, as well.
yes,
So, yeah,
it's not cheap. So
hobbies can be very expensive.
yeah, and also there's just in Florida itself, there's 12 minor league stadiums. So not the major league teams, but the lower levels, and
Okay.
those are cool because they're cheaper. So I did. I've gone to all but one of the stadiums in Florida. The other one's like 8 hours away. So I'll try to do that maybe next season. But
Okay.
so as I'm trying to get all the major league ones, I'm trying to sprinkle in some of the minor league ones as well. So
Okay. Do
it's
you have a special time frame every year? How many stadiums you will take in a month, for example?
I usually try to go to one game a month, like minimum. Even if that's just going to the Marlins Stadium, because that's about an hour from me. So yeah, I want to try to do at least one a month, but the big trips I usually can only afford 1 or 2 every season. So I'll try to do as many as I can while I'm there. And this summer, actually, for my birthday, I visited my uncle who lives in New Mexico. And I was like, by the way, there's a baseball stadium, 20 minutes from you. You want to go to a game? He's like, yeah, that sounds great. So
Yeah, nice.
when I travel to visit people that, it's one of those like, there are so many minor league stadiums throughout the country that it's pretty much wherever you visit, you can be like, hey, if we drive 20 minutes north, we can go catch a game. So that's kind of what I like to do as well. So I only try to travel between the April and October when baseball's going on. So if it's the winter time, it's like I don't really want to go anywhere because I can't go catch a baseball game, so I'm just gonna
Okay.
stay. So
Yeah, this year the Braves are done, unfortunately. So
yeah,
no World Series in a row.
yeah, that would have been
So okay, we can
yeah.
handle that, I think.
We'll get them next year.
Yeah. So what about the Yankees?
Not a fan.
No, no, not fan. I know you're not the fan of the Yankees, but what do you think about them? Do you have this special rivalry like everybody has, or do you? Recently, you posted an honorable post for this player. I don't know his name anymore. Who has hit the 60 home runs, or?
So like, there's a few players on the Yankees that it's one of those. As much as I want to hate all of you, I can't because they're just good people. So it's one of those like I want him to do good, but I still want the Yankees to not do good. And actually, the game where he broke that record, they lost the game. So I was like, oh, look at that. So, but yeah, he's a good dude. So it's one of those. There's a few players where it's like, as much as I want to hate you, I can't. So I don't
Yeah, it's all about the respect, I think.
hate
Huh?
exactly. Respect is the right word. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah, correct.
some players, and it's the worst when a Braves goes to the Yankees, and you're like, oh man, now I like have to hate you, and I spent all this time liking you. So, um,
Okay.
yeah, not a fan. But
No, no, of course not. We have here in Germany is football, of course, the nationality sport, I would call it.
yeah,
So we have also teams which we, of course, don't like.
oh yeah,
I don't want to name them now because
no,
it makes no sense now.
exactly.
But you're during touring at the stadiums,
Yeah,
did you saw some metal bands which have a show at the stadium? Sometimes it is that a few bands at the local places where they grow up and started all this stuff, they play in the stadiums then to make the audience happy. Did you saw one metal band at the baseball stadium?
not a metal band. There was kind of like a rock band at one of the Braves games I went to a few years ago. It was right after the game. They said, stay where you are. we're gonna pull the stage on, and the band will play. So I saw a band play at the Braves Stadium. There's been a few times where I never seen a concert in a baseball stadium other than that time, but sometimes where I do my tours, I'll make sure to see if there's bands playing in the area. Like a lot of times when I go to Orlando or Tampa to watch a baseball game, I'll
Okay.
I'll catch a concert, or vice versa. So there's been times where I would see a concert one night and then a baseball game the next night. I'm actually planning on doing that next season already. The day before opening day, there's a band I like playing in Orlando, and I'm like, I can do that, and then I can go see a baseball game in Tampa. So yeah, that's exactly. So it's
Yeah,
all
why not?
it's all planning ahead. So if you get a concert and a baseball game, that's a good road trip, you know?
Yeah. If it works, do it. No,
Exactly.
it's always good to have a nice time because life is short. You know this. Every time could be the last day, so we
Yeah.
don't hope it, of course. But yeah, you know it. So, speaking about baseball, what was your first baseball game you went to?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I actually I can't remember, but I grew up in New York, so it was either a Mets or a Yankee game. I know I went to a lot when I was young. I just can't remember what was the first one.
Okay.
I think we lived closer to the Mets, so I want to say it was probably a Mets game. But I was probably, 4 or 5 years old. And my dad was taking me to games. And then when I actually moved to Florida, the year the Marlins first year in '93, and I got to go to a game that summer, their first season in Florida. So that was pretty cool. So my first baseball game was either a Mets or a Yankees. I can't remember, but I'll say Mets just because I don't like the Yankees.
Okay, I agree with you. And what was the first concert you went to?
It was the Deftones.
Ah,
Uh,
no, we talked about earlier. Sorry, yeah, my mistake. So, what was the biggest festival you went to?
so this one, I think it only lasted 1 year. And I used to go to New York in the summer to visit my dad, and it was called Tattoo the Earth. It was basically like an Ozfest, but it also had like famous tattoo artists, so you could, get a tattoo in between bands. And it was at the stadium where the New York Jets and the New York Giants play football.
Oh, okay.
So it was the concert started off outside, like in the parking lot of the stadium, and I saw Mudvayne. This was like 2000, so Mudvayne just came up. I saw Mudvayne. Then when we got to go
Okay.
inside the stadium, it was saw Slayer. It was Slipknot, Seven Dust, Sepultura, and the craziest thing was Metallica wasn't part of this festival, but they were playing. They were the headliner, so it was the whole Tattoo of the Earth lineup, and then Metallica headlined. So it
Wow.
was awesome. That was definitely my biggest concert or festival by far, because it started probably around 11 or 12 in the afternoon, and it went like past midnight. And just the fact to see Slipknot, like they just came out with their self-titled album, and they were massive, and seeing them like in an arena, it was awesome. And then Sepultura, Slayer, and then Metallica. That's a good concert.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of what? This is a gold lineup, I would say. Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
one of, whenever I look back and talk about that, I was like, I got to see all of those bands the same day.
Yeah.
So that was a cool concert. And it was funny because I went with my dad and my brother, who weren't necessarily metalheads, but they just, I said, hey, it might be fun. And of course, we all loved the Metallica set, but there were a couple bands that they weren't really too into. But just seeing it in person is much different than like listening to it on a CD. Like it's one of those, you can appreciate it more. Like my brother
Yeah.
always says, like, my brother's not a musician, but he's always like, I don't know what they're doing, but I know it's difficult. So I appreciate it. And I always liked that attitude towards it, because it was one of those, like, he's not going to say it's not my favorite thing, but I know what they're doing is awesome and I appreciate it. So he would always come to the concerts, and it was a fun day to spend with my dad and my brother, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you have a good concert and good day with friends or family is always important. It's nice. So you have a second site here at Instagram, which is called the Westbay Hats. So you
Yes,
are collecting caps.
yes.
How did you came up with this idea?
Uh, I've been collecting hats for I think it's for my whole life, pretty much. You know, it used to only be Braves hats, but then as I started doing my Ball is Life tour, every time I went to a new stadium, like I would unlock a new hat. So it was one of those, like, every time I went to a new park, I'd always try to get a hat from there. So then it became like more of a, you know, then I wanted to try to get every team. So I've been collecting them for a while, and I was like, I might as well start just posting specifically hats on my Westbay Hats page, and then my Chopstixx page is more for my music or just my personal life. So that's kind of what, you know, it's, instead of doing all of it at once, I was like, I'll just have a specific hat page for my hats, and then my Chopstixx will be for my, you know, music and stuff. So yeah, and then this is my little uh, my little rack right here.
Ah, you have your cap rack.
Yeah,
Nice.
and there's the cat. So yeah, that's all of them. So
And
yeah,
it looks like at the lit store.
exactly. It probably has more inventory than lids. So
Okay.
yeah, so I've been collecting like seriously since probably 2017, which is right around the time I started doing the Ball of Life tour. It was weird. I was at a game in Arizona, and I was
Okay.
like, I kind of want to get a hat, you know, just to say I was here, you know.
Yeah.
And then that was the beginning of it all. So I got a Diamondbacks hat in Arizona, and then it was like, you know, I came back to Florida, and I was like, I should get a Marlins hat. I live in Florida. I should get a Rays hat. And then it's like, I should get a hat for every stadium I go to. So then it became kind of an obsession to get all the different teams. So yeah, that's it's just another hobby to spend money on, because music.
Okay. Yeah. You have, yeah, but you have to have a symbol what you can show the guests or friends. I was there. It's the same with metal tees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I,
exactly.
when I go to a concert and I try always to get a tour T-shirt.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Not all of them are good, and if I don't
No,
like one, I didn't buy it. But
yeah.
from Metallica or bands which I listening a long time ago to, I always used to buy a tour
Oh,
T-shirt.
sure. I'm upset when I went to Meshuggah a couple weeks ago. I didn't know where the merch table was, and
Oh, okay.
I got there right when it started. So normally, if you get there early, you get the shirt and just have it. So I was like, maybe I'll grab it as I leave. And everyone's like funneling out of the door, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, "Where's the merch table?" And I kind of just wanted to get shot outside, and I was like, "Damn it!" So I might just buy one online, because I don't even think I have a Meshuggah shirt, and that concert was awesome. So I want one to have, but I couldn't get one at that show just because I didn't know where it was. I'm not familiar with that venue too much. And it was one of those, like, I didn't see it anywhere. Obviously, they have to have a merch table somewhere, but wherever I was, it wasn't there. So
Okay. We had the same in July this year. We moved to Frankfurt to see a German rock band. And I also went with my wife there, and we didn't know where the merch table was. So I said, okay, let's find it after the concert.
yeah,
So yeah, we can buy it anyways online as well. So
yeah,
this was a bad idea because this band shirt, what we actually would buy,
yeah.
it doesn't sell is on sale anymore, and you can get it just via eBay or stuff like this. But
That's the
yeah,
word.
it's
Yeah,
not the same if you buy it at the concert or on the merch table, because
yeah,
this turnaround is always the magic at a concert.
exactly.
Buying merch stuff, have a chat about music, and so on and so on.
Yeah, it's definitely
So
one of those. Every time you go to a show, you want to walk out with the shirt. You know.
yeah,
So
how many metal tees do you have at home?
I got a lot. I got a lot. You know, I've been to a lot of concerts. Let's just say that, and I do the same thing. I usually will get a shirt every time I go to a concert. So I probably have about 40 or 50
Oh,
um,
okay, that's a lot.
throughout the years. So yeah, I try to collect, and then a lot of times for Black Friday, bands will have big sales, so I'll
Yeah,
get a
of course.
shirts for Black Friday for not necessarily a tour shirt, but just the band shirt.
No, not just regular merch. Of course, I understand.
Yeah.
So, speaking about going to concerts, I have to come back to this discussion again. So, what was your worst concert?
Uh, uh, that's a good question. I've been to like a lot of good shows. I guess the most disappointing one was there's this band called Candiria. They were like a rap metal, but also jazz. And years ago, they got into a semi truck, hit their touring van, and like they flipped, and they all got really, really hurt. So I didn't know this, but they were on tour, and I was going to go see them. But part of, I guess, the lawsuit against the guy that hit them was if there was a court date, they had to be there. So even though they were the headliner on this tour, something happened where they were going to be at the court date, and I didn't know this until I was already at the show. And it was one of those like, hey, when's Candiria coming on? They're like, oh, they're not here. So I didn't really care about any of the other opening bands. So I spent my money. I went inside, and then when I found out that they weren't going to be playing, I just left. So that was disappointing. It wasn't anything that they did, but that would have been my first time seeing them, and then I never got a chance to see them. But
Okay. Yeah.
most of the shows I've been to have been good. The music's good, and nothing really where I just have to walk out of because I don't like it. So yeah, I've been fortunate to go to a lot of good shows. What about you?
Okay.
You had a bad show experience?
No, not really. So I had also a lot of concerts. Sometimes the sound is a little bit disappointing because it's overgained, I would say.
Yes.
We had this with the current Amaranth concert. The Amaranth concert itself was good. The show was really nice. But sometimes if they sing in a higher voice,
Yeah.
it pains in the ear. So this was the only thing what I said was not good. But the
Yeah.
rest was good. Beyond the Black had a hell of a show. They had a really good sound mixing as well. So Butcher Babies, of course, I saw for the first time. And I had the luck that where I get my shirts on the merch tables, they did a selfie with me. So it's my first rock picture
Nice.
with some heavy metal stars.
That's cool.
And I really appreciate this. We had a kind of chat, so a few minutes but some other would also to do a picture and
Yeah.
tell a little bit with them or chat with them. So they are really nice and they were really friendly. So yeah, here's a shout out, Butcher Babies, if you're watching my show. I appreciate your nice chat.
It's
Yeah,
really
and
really cool.
Ad Infinitum, Melissa Bonney is the front man or front woman.
They're awesome.
They were also awesome, but that they had unfortunately just a little bit time frame what they can play. So I think they had 5 or 6 songs.
Okay.
Approximately.
They're from Germany, right? Or
They are from Germany, correct. I don't know where exactly, but from Germany, of course. Yeah.
they're really good. I just discovered them, I guess, during the pandemic. And the first song I saw, they all had like the crazy masks on, except for the singer, and it was like, this band is heavy, and she can sing, man. So
Yeah, sure. She can sing, and she covered with her old band, "Twilight of the Thunder God." You have to watch it or hear it on Amazon.
I'll do
And at the concert, she sometimes started to growling
Yes.
within the song. So I always was reminding about "Twilight of the Thunder God."
Yeah, she can growl
Yeah.
pretty. She can growl really good.
Yeah, but she has of course a really good singer voice,
Oh yeah.
and you hear it's perfect.
Yeah, yeah, she's really good, and she's really pretty too. That
Yeah,
doesn't.
it's not always about shouting, I think. You have
Yeah,
to understand the text a little bit as well, so
yeah.
it's better possible with the normal voice.
That's with me. Like the older I get, the more I kind of gravitate to clean singing. You know, and some bands are gonna scream. There's nothing you can do about it, but I like a heavy band that can clean sing most of the time. You know, and maybe do growling for the heavier parts or something.
Yeah, I think it's normal if you have a death metal band
Yeah,
that you are a growler. Yeah.
right. Yeah,
But at a normal rock band, yeah,
yeah,
you have to scream more sometimes, but
yeah,
the rest of this is normal clear singing, and
yeah.
that's okay for my opinion.
Exactly. I think definitely the heaviness of the music will dictate how the singer is going to sing. You know, if it's all blast beats and stuff, you can't sing clearly. You're going to have to scream. You know, so it's one of those. However heavy the band is going to be kind of how the singer is going to react to it. So yeah. Oh yeah. When's
Yeah. So
when when's the next concert you're going to?
the next concert we going to it's again with my wife. She's my concert partner in crime for symphonic metal,
Ooh.
and we go to visit Wisdom Temptation with Evanescence.
Okay. Oh, that's right. You told me that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's,
At the Wisdom Temptation, we see then for the third or fourth time. No, I think it's the third time. We
nice.
saw them in Munich in 2018 in December. Then we saw them in 2019 in Dresden. And this area was really cool. It was it's called amphitheater. You have it's like a cinema. You have the seats going down, so or like a stadium. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like in a stadium.
Nice.
So and then downstairs the stage, and yeah, it was really awesome. And Sharon as well has a really good voice
Yeah.
to be a frontman or frontwoman.
Yes, sir.
Fronted female is the correct
That's
naming.
there you go.
Yeah, and then this year I don't have any plans. Maybe a shortage concert, but no tickets for the moment. This is planned the last concert this year.
Yeah, I was just thinking ahead too. I don't think I know of anybody coming down. Usually, not a lot of bands will tour during the winter. That's more of a kind of a summer and spring kind of thing. But it's one of those like I would like to see a concert before the year's over. I just don't know who's coming down. Like I don't think there's any that I know of. I know there's a band that I like that's going to Tampa on like a weekday, and I'm all out of vacation days. So it was like, you know, I'm always like, I need you to come to Florida, and then they are in Florida, but it's like I can't see you. So
Okay.
there's one that I know of, but I can't go to. But nothing's coming down here.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting would be this year's Billy Talent here in Germany, and
Yeah.
this also happens not that often. So maybe this I will go too, but it's not fixed yet. So it's just thinking about.
Exactly. Yeah. There's
Yeah,
me.
we're really looking forward for Wisdom Temptation. My wife loves Wisdom Temptation,
Yeah.
so she's very satisfied that we can go and see them again.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's
She said to me, hopefully they have new shirts. Normally my wife doesn't wear band shirts
okay.
like I do at the daily routine.
Yeah.
Just I wear metal t-shirts.
Exactly.
So, but on the concert, she's different a little bit.
Yeah.
Then she part of the game, so she do like also wearing shirts and just cool shirts, not the ugly one,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of stuff, but not all of them are. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
nice to wear.
You gotta wear a band shirt to a show. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And it's always one of those. Do you wear a band shirt of that band to the show? That's always the one of those like or do you wear a band that's similar to the band you're going to see. I know a lot of people don't like to wear a band shirt of the band they're going to see. To me, I don't care. You know, I like this band. I'm going to wear your shirt, you know?
Yeah. So I created also a new shirt. Maybe you just saw it.
Hey, there it is.
It's my own Rockfeed brand shirt, and I bought it 2 days ago, or was it yesterday?
I like it.
Oh, yes, yesterday. Yeah,
Nice.
we were yesterday there. So yeah, I'm really proud of it. So the Rockfeed brand goes on a little bit.
I
So
like
I get the first K now on Instagram here.
nice.
So yeah, and you are my first English podcasting guest. So I
Nice.
really appreciate it, of course.
Yeah.
So let's talk. What could we else talk? Did you heard the new Alter Bridge album?
I have not. I don't really follow them too much. I know the guitarist of Jamina loves that band, so he'll probably hate me for saying that I haven't heard
Ah,
it.
Paul, you mean Paul?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. If Paul is watching, hi Paul. Hopefully if you find. So I listening also to Alter Bridge, and normally I like them,
Okay.
but the current album what they released is not my style now.
They changed their
They
style.
I saw a little bit. It's more I I wouldn't say this bad word mainstream, but it's a little bit mainstream like in my opinion.
Uh,
And I love the Alter Bridge Blackbeard album from 2007 was one of the best of them.
okay.
And I saw them also live in 2019
Nice.
with Shinedown and what was the other band? It was a good band, but I currently Raven Age. It was Raven Age. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a band from Germany, I think, or from Austria, and this was also my first Alter Bridge concert. So it was really awesome. But the current studio album is not mine.
Yeah, it happens, man. You know, sometimes bands want to change their sound to get more fans, but then the original fans are like, "Why are you going to do that to us?" But hopefully, maybe they'll go back to their regular sound after this one.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I respect this, that you if you're a band, you try to do something new, not just always the same. I
Yeah.
totally understand and respect that.
Yeah.
But in this way, I don't love it that much. I hear it and I hear it twice or for the third time. So, but I don't get connected with it. So, anyways, maybe the next one is more connection to me.
And that's the thing, you know, there's always the two schools of fans. The one fan that's like, whenever a band does something different, you're like, oh, you know, why can't you just sound like the same? But then there's the other fans that's like, every album sounds exactly the same. So it's always tough for a band because you want to evolve and change your sound. But, you know, your sound is what got you to where you are. So it's like, you can't just change completely, but it's good to always try something different. But sometimes it doesn't work. But at least, you know, a good band will recognize that and go, okay, we messed up a little bit. Let's go back to what we're used to doing, you know?
Yeah, I think it's the same for me with Sepultura.
Yeah.
I saw and loved the old Sepultura with Max as frontman.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say something bad about Derek, but
Right.
I don't like the singing style and the voice of him
Yeah.
connected to the music. So it gives me no connection. So I hope they're doing good and they can produce music as good they can. So, but it's not mine. I would
Yeah.
go not to a Sepultura concert, even if it's on a festival. Okay, then I would have a look on it. But no, for me, it's Max and Igor Sepultura.
I agree. I actually only have one album once, the first album when Derek joined, the Against album. And after that, it was like, to me, that's not Sepultura. Like, I feel like Max should have taken the name, you know, even though the rest of the band was still there. Like, Max to me was Sepultura. So when Derek joined, I was like, I'll check it out. And I was like, I'd rather just listen to the Max stuff. Because to me, Chaos AD and Roots, like, that was Sepultura, you know? That's, yeah, that it doesn't get better than that. So, you know.
Yeah, I think Beneath the Remains and Arise, of course, Arise is one of the best albums which they have created.
Yeah, that was when they were like pretty much straight up death metal. And then they became a little bit more tribal. I don't want to say even maybe new metal. You know, it was around that era anyway. But yeah, the Arise and Beneath the Remains is heavy stuff, man. But yeah,
Yeah, but it's good. It's good old stuff, old school stuff.
oh yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
love their old stuff. That honestly, Igor was one of my biggest influences as a drummer growing up. Like he was him and Vinnie Paul. Um, that was the main, because I got into those bands right when I started playing. So like it was one of those. All I really listened to was Sepultura and Pantera. So then it was like Pantera is good for the straightforward stuff, but Sepultura was great for the kind of tribal stuff. Because Igor was doing stuff that you wouldn't hear in metal, you know, with all the cool hand drums and just a lot of different sounds that you won't normally hear. So he was a big influence of mine, still is.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you, and I think Sepultura and Pantera rise for the same time in the early 90s,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
so they were the stars.
absolutely. Yeah, it was a good time to be a metalhead. I'll tell you that.
Of course, but it's always a good time to be a metalhead, of course.
I feel like that was maybe the golden era, you know, like of thrash, you know. So it was all the bands were just big, because now like it's hard to see a metal band selling out arenas. Back in the 90s, that was like like metal bands were on MTV, metal bands were on the
Mm.
radio. Like now it's just pop and hip hop, you know.
Yeah.
Metal bands are playing at like little bars, and it's one of those like, these guys need to be in an arena, put the hip hop artists in in a little bar. So I just feel like that was a good era for heavy music, and now everything's just become, you know, electronic. That's everybody. So it's hard to. The only metal bands that are selling out arenas now are still the same ones from back then, like Iron Maiden and Kiss and stuff. But like, it's hard
Mhm.
for new metal bands to get a big following, I feel, just because there's not a lot of metalheads left, unfortunately.
Okay. So how did you discover new metal bands for yourself?
Uh, in the olden days, I used to get like the magazines, the metal magazines, and a lot of it was just kind of reading reviews and saying, oh, you know, this band sounds like so and so. I used to just go to Best Buy like every Tuesday and just pick up CDs, kind of if it looked cool or sounded cool. Now it's everything's easy with the internet and YouTube. You know, you start off on one band that you like, and then it says, hey, you should check out this band. And you're like, oh, this is great. So now it's so much easier to find music. But yeah, back in the day, it was magazines and just being in a record store, or
Yeah,
just
of course, of course.
friends, you know, hey, have you heard so and so? Like, no, I haven't. Let me check them out. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was
But
like,
I think this was also a good time to go to the record store, stand on the table, watch, listen to new CDs, or watch around, talking to other people. I had the same also in our small town where I was grown up. So now I went sometimes to the store here close to me, but it's not the same. You can't talk about metal. You just go in, pick what you want, and
yeah.
then left. So.
And then I
It's
don't
boring anyways.
can't listen to music anymore at the record stores, which kind of sucks, because that was half the fun. You know, it's like, well, I only have enough money for one CD. You pick up two of them and you listen to them. You're like, all right, this is the one I'm going to take. So
Yeah.
that I used to go every Tuesday. Like I had people at Best Buy, all the employees, like, hey, what's going on? What are you looking for today? I was like, what do you got? You know, I would just love to listen to anything new. You know, to get new. I just, the more music you listen to, the more you grow as a musician and also as a fan. You know.
Yeah. So I have a lot of discovery here on Instagram. So there are a few talented new good rock bands or metal bands, whatever you could call it. So one of them, I said it's not without reason, is It's a Lie.
Hmm.
So the front woman is online here and joining with us. Hello, Chio. Nice that you joined. So hopefully you bring soon new stuff.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah,
That's all.
and YouTube, of course. You can watch music videos and check out the sound. So
Yeah.
yeah, you have
Usually
a lot of video material. So it's sometimes it's a little bit much,
it
but
is
it's okay.
a bit much, but usually every day at work for my lunch hour, I just go straight to YouTube and just try to find new videos and new bands. I watch a lot of, drummers playing.
Yeah, dramas, of course.
Yeah. I love watching like a drummer just play through a whole song of theirs, with that's fun to watch. So yeah, these days it's easier to get into music because of the internet, but also, as you said, it's sometimes it's like, what am I going to listen to today? Because there's just so much that you can listen to, because it's just all at your fingertips.
Okay. Yeah, fingertips is a good keyword. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have fingertips here on my right. So my wife has also an Instagram page which is called Lovely Fingertips.
Nice.
So it's nice, like your head side. You could check it out as well. So
Cool.
she's doing nail art stuff
No,
for herself. So
like it.
yeah, a little bit advertise.
Yeah, man. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
It's your
so
thing.
it's nothing to do with metal, but sometimes you have to do some advertise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I love it.
Yeah. So, what is your next concert when you play as a drummer?
Mm.
Do,
That's
do you have any plans or appointments for new live performances?
I play drums at a church, but it's like the least metal thing in the world. But I took I stopped playing for a few months. It was just kind of, I was traveling a lot, and just, it was one of those, I just wasn't focused on drumming. But I think I'm gonna get back to doing that. Maybe starting in December. I told the band leader, I was like, once the playoffs are over, you got me. So they know baseball comes first. So probably gonna start playing back in church. I don't know about, like, outside of that in a band. I told you I'm working on something with my buddy for, like, the punk rock stuff, but it's just two members right now. He plays guitar, bass, and vocals, and I drum. So, like, playing that live, I don't know if we're gonna have to find other musicians. So at the moment, I don't know about playing, like, my own stuff live,
Okay.
but at least I can still play a little bit at church. So yeah, no plans in the near future, unfortunately. That's the one thing that's a little sad about not being in a band, because it is fun to play concerts. So,
Okay.
but I'm open to it. If something comes up, I'll definitely take the opportunity.
Okay. So, speaking about going back in time, if we could go in a time machine and go back in a earlier time,
Mhm.
which band you could or you would see, which you didn't see because of passing from a band member or what? What band would it be?
That's a great question.
Mine would be Motorhead, of course.
Ooh, man, my buddy saw them, like, probably a few months before Lemmy died, and it was one of those,
Oh, okay.
like, he said it too. It was like, I need to see them right now, and he did. Damn, that's a great question, because not necessarily passing, but I would like to see Sepultura with Max. You know, um, and one of the bands I would love to see live, even though I think they started playing again just this summer, is Rage Against the Machine. I would love to see them, like, together. They're,
Yeah,
they're
they just have a few concerts in Germany, but I don't have always the time to go to concerts due
yeah,
to my real life, of
exactly.
course. So, but this is, of course, a band I would also love to see.
I would love to see
Definitely.
the fact that they are playing back together. It's like, because a few years ago it was one of those, I just never got to see them. And now it's like, if they come around, I definitely want to see them. But that's a really good question, because there's so many bands that it's like, you know, if a member's obviously deceased, then it's like, I'm never gonna see them because I can't. But yeah, I would like to see original Sepultura. I mean, I was glad to see Pantera when Vinny and Dimebag were alive, because a lot of my friends were like, "Dude, you got to see them." I was like, "I saw them twice."
Yeah.
So that
Okay.
would have been my answer, but I got to see Pantera. I would like to see Metallica with Cliff on bass.
Oh, this would be awesome,
That
of course.
because to me, he was their best bass player, even though Jason and Robert are fantastic.
Mm.
The albums with Cliff on it were just untouchable. So yeah, maybe Metallica with Cliff would have been a good show to see. But I was
Okay.
2 years old.
I had the luck in 2020. Yeah, oh, it was in 2020. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Megadeth also for the first time. They were supporting or special guest on the Five Finger Death Punch tour.
Okay.
So I had the luck to see also David Ellefson with Megadeth.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they were the second band which has played after the Bad Wolves. So yeah, it was really an awesome performance. I love Megadeth since I'm 14 or something like this. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
So
awesome.
I have a comment here in the comment section. Love that fire background. Yeah, thank you very much. It's a app on my LG TV. So thanks for joining in. I hope you enjoy. And if you have also questions to our drummer, John Westbay, leave a comment in the comment section. I really appreciate your support.
I see one saying, if you had a chance to replace a drummer in a band, dead or alive, who would it be?
Yeah,
That's
it's a question for you, of course.
I mean, I would love to replace Vinnie Paul, I guess, or try to play some Pantera stuff. He was the main reason I started playing drums. So I know Charlie's doing it from Anthrax for their current lineup, but yeah, it would have been pretty awesome to try to play some Vinnie Paul stuff, because that was my main influence. I actually used to play with my sticks backwards like Vinnie did, because normally you play with the tip like that, but Vinny, since he was such a hard hitter, he would hit him with the ends of the stick. So I played with my drumsticks like that for like a couple years, and I went through a whole lot of cymbals. So I went back to playing it the normal way, because yeah, he breaks a lot of cymbals. So that would be, I guess, Vinnie Paul would be my answer for Pantera.
Oh, this was a good keyword that you speaking about symbols. We
Yeah.
I have an important question for you.
Yeah.
At the Brave Stadium
Yes.
in Atlanta, I see you have a stone in front of the stadium where your name Chopstixx is mentioned.
Yes.
I was here, so let's talk short about this. How did came the idea up?
So when they built the new stadium that you got to go to, you can get a personalized brick outside of the stadium, and I thought it'd be a really cool idea for my dad, like for Father's Day. So I got a brick which is outside of the stadium, but also I got a replica for myself and for my dad, and it says Chopstixx and Papa were here. So that's my
Yeah, there he goes. There we go. Yeah, here it is.
and that's the ring from 2021. I got a replica ring. I got some cool bobbleheads, some dirt from the World Series, and then dirt from the last game of the old stadium, and some dirt from the first game of the new stadium.
Dude, you are the craziest baseball fan
Yeah,
I know.
yeah. I got
Oh,
some.
here's another question. What advice you would give young drummers when they start?
Just practice, and also just like there was something I learned a little too late, but like listen to stuff even that if you don't necessarily like it, but just if you listen to different genres than even what you're not used to, you're gonna pick up stuff differently. Like even just I was at a restaurant and they were playing a lot of reggae, and I was like, this is such a cool style of drumming, and I don't just openly listen to reggae. So it was one of those like, the drumming was really cool. And in my head, I was kind of playing along with it. And I was like, this is something that I wouldn't normally do. So listen to everything, you know, even if you don't like it, still take stuff from it. You know, it's like, well, this isn't my style of music, but it'd be really cool in the middle of a song if you just do like a cool reggae breakdown in the middle of a metal song. And it's like, oh, what was that? So, but also just practice nonstop, you know. And the cool thing with these days is with the internet and YouTube, you know, you can just pick a drummer and watch his videos and, you know, really just learn their style. But that was one thing I learned kind of a lot later than I wish that I would have learned it sooner, is just, you know, listen to everything, you know, don't rule anything out. Go, today I'm going to listen to a bunch of punk rock, you know, and then try playing along to punk rock. One fun thing is just playing along to music. Like I have an electric drum set, so I'll just go through my iPod and go, well, let's check out some of this. So it's like, you know, playing along to different styles of music is, I think, a good way to get better. Even though even if you're in a band that plays one specific style, like there's no rules that you can't play other stuff, which is why music is awesome. So yeah, just listen to everything, learn everything, and just be open-minded. You know, that's kind of my advice for that. That's a good question.
Okay. Yeah, of course, we love to have questions, and I would recommend that we do a second podcast as well. We talked about a little bit over text about this thing, so let's discuss this anyway. So before we close the session today, which means that we do a second podcast, of course.
Yes,
I promised you that I put a second CD on. And what do you think about this guy here? Can you see it?
Yes, that's he's the guitarist for Ultra Bridge, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, he can shred. He can shred. I know.
Oh yeah. Speaking about shredders, of course, Chris Hermsdorfer from Beyond the Black. He shredded the guitar brutally 2 days ago, and it was awesome to see him play. And he currently played my new Rockfeed intro and outro, which I didn't publish yet because due to some preparations. So yeah, he was the master, of course. He was really a master, and all the guitarists, also the other guitarists. So. This was really a hell of a show.
That's the cool thing about metal. Like, we're spoiled because pretty much every musician in these bands are top notch, you know. And every time I go to a metal show, I'm always like, I'm the worst drummer in the building because everyone's just so good. And that's another reason to want to get better as a musician, because when you see these bands that are at a much higher level playing so well, you're like, well, the reason they are where they are is because they're so good. So it makes you want to be a better musician, you know.
Oh, of course. So last question, where can we find you here in the social network?
So I have you know, this page is my Chopstixx was here, which is my more of my personal and music page. And then, you know, I have my, if you're interested in hats, I have my westbay.hats page. And then on Facebook, it's just John Westbay. And usually I'll tag if I have a new project I'm working on, like in my bio. So you can kind of find my music and stuff just through that, or always just ask me if you want to hear some new music. So yeah, this is where to find me.
Okay, so this means you have always a lot of work to posting things.
Yeah. I'm always trying to come up with new projects and stuff. So. And
yeah.
I want to finish this year strong, because I kind of set a goal every year to put a project out every quarter of the year, even if it's just a one song. So I did first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and between hopefully releasing my punk rock project and my music video for a Bars Ulrich song, I can finish 2022 strong. And then next year I want to put out a lot of good music.
Okay, so here goes out a hi to Vinyl Freakman Cake. Hey Phil, nice to see you, and thanks for joining in. So yeah, like I said, today we are coming to an end, unfortunately, due to we have to eat, and tomorrow we visit my mom, so we have to drive a few hours. So,
Oh,
John, thank you very
yes.
much. I really appreciate that you have time for my Mosh Pit Story special Halloween edition. Even we didn't speak about Halloween this time. So, yeah, we discuss a little bit later on via text what we do for projects in the future.
Mhm.
So. Thanks for all who's joining in and appreciate our podcast today. So if you want to be featured or also be a guest in my Mosh Pit Story podcast or Jack Friday podcast, please send me a direct message in my Rockfeed magazine official account here. So yeah, my next Jack Friday is on 4th November with Stoneblind from Germany. So I appreciate if you join in again. So have a nice weekend. And John,
Yes.
speak to you later.
Yes. It's been real, Florian. Thanks a lot, man.
Yes, you're welcome. And yeah, I talk to you soon.
Yes, let's do it again.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
will. We will.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you and bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye, everybody.